live from Mobile. Matt, what's going on, man? How are you?
Doing well. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Good to see you. All right. Before we talk Titans in the number one, I just want your takeaways from this class, the Senior Bowl as a whole. A lot of talk about it maybe not being as deep as it was last year, the draft class as well. You tell me what you've seen.
Yeah, it's not as deep, and we all focus on quarterbacks, right? And I know Titans fans are doing the same thing. So it's not as deep in terms of quarterbacks, but this is a great year for running backs, a great year for defensive linemen, whether that be edge players or defensive tackles. I really like the tight end class. So, I always say you have to use those picks. 256 players are going to get drafted. It's our job to find good players. This class, at the Senior Bowl, I think there might be 8 to 10 first-round picks out here. So maybe there's not that, quarterbacks going to be drafted in the top 5. Maybe one will be. But there's a lot of great players, especially in the trenches here.
When you look at number one, Titans have said generational talent, of course, that's the phrase. Yeah. And, my opinion is that maybe Travis Hunter, maybe Abdul Carter are those players. It doesn't seem like there's anybody else on that list. What is your opinion on the top of the board right now? Generational
talent is a big word. That's hard to put that label on anyone, especially when you've been doing this as long as I have. I think Abdul Carter is the best player in the draft, a true difference maker. As a player, as a premium position, if you're going to build, quarterback, left tackle, pass rusher, corner are your most important positions. He's fantastic, and he's still getting better. I think that's the thing we have to remember. He's been playing defensive end for one season. Before that, it was part-time only. He has all the traits, so he's great. I love Travis Hunter. I've seen Travis Hunter in person. He's a little bit undersized. I think that's my biggest question. Can he hold up long-term at his current size, or is he going to try to bulk up? We got to ask Travis at the combine what position he wants to play before we can really say, is he a receiver, is he a corner, is he some type of hybrid of both? But they're both fantastic players. I think I would put Mason Graham from Michigan up there as well as just a really good football player, someone you could build around. I like Will Johnson, the corner from Michigan. I know he missed some time this year with injury, but there's 4 to 5 players that are blue chip guys. Will Campbell from LSU is probably in that mix for me too. But after that, I think picks 6 through 20 are going to be players that have a pretty similar grade, and then the round 2 depth is even really good this year.
Is it crazy to say that Hunter is more of a receiver?
I think he's a receiver. Yeah, and we could talk to 10 scouts behind us right now, and we would probably get half to say receiver, half to say corner. I go back to the size question. I saw Travis Hunter against Kansas in person. Kansas has a corner, Kobe Bryant, who I love, but he's 170 pounds. Travis Hunter's about the same size, so we need to get a weight on him at the combine, but he's not a big guy. And I think you look at where the corner position's going, it's bigger guys. He just doesn't quite have the frame that I would want him coming downhill, having to tackle, Derrick Henry and Isaiah Pacheco and guys like that.
Well, when you look at the quarterbacks, obviously we know sort of some of their strengths and we know their resumes. I'm curious what you want to see from them to prove to you that they do belong sort of higher in that conversation.
It's tough because they're not going to be put in those situations, but I do want to see from Cam Ward, I want to see that he can play on time a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. We'll get some of that at the combine. Can he throw with accuracy, with his feet planted, where he's not moving around, kind of using that, shortstop sidearm motion that he's got. And I think the same for Shedeur. It's funny, both quarterbacks this year, they love to drift and string plays out, and then the great field vision, they're going to see their guy and throw it. But for Shedeur, the arm strength is a question mark. I want to see that. I want to see, can he rip it? Can he make those deep out throws that he's going to be, hopefully, we'll see him at the combine. He's going to be asked to do that. That's going to be a big moment for him.
Stay in the pocket.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not a pocket at the combine, and for both these guys, both players, can you stay in the pocket? Can you play on time? We saw, as great as Caleb Williams is, the struggles in his rookie year were because he couldn't play on time. But then look what Jaden Daniels did. He learned to play on time, and he took off.
So let's say the Titans are looking at edge. Let's say they're looking at maybe right side of the offensive line, so either interior or tackle. Certainly receivers a piece there. I mean, we can keep going. It's a bad team. Middle linebacker, safety. What are some of the names that you saw this week in Mobile that you like as maybe they went from 4th, 5th round guys to maybe 2nd, 3rd round guys? A lot of depth in the middle of this draft.
Yeah.
Who are the names that you like at some of those positions that aren't top tier guys?
Yeah, Gray Zabel from North Dakota State maybe made more money than anyone. I thought today, last day of practice was a little bit rough. I think some guys figured him out, but he was fantastic the first 2 days. Miles Frazier from LSU, another guy who has versatility. He could play right tackle, he could play right guard. The trenches are great here. I think that's a huge part of it. Ursery from Minnesota, I think has some versatility, could play either side. He looked really good. Emory Jones from LSU looked good at guard. Like you mentioned, they have needs everywhere. I think this receiver group, Jalen Royals was the best player for me. He's probably a round 2 guy, maybe mid to late round 2. Corner, as Thomas, Florida State, probably going to be a top 40 pick, so he might be an early round 2 guy. But I think we're going to see the junior class really impact those picks 25 to 75 this year.
Matt, always a pleasure, my guy. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.